Welcome to the 2024 West Virginia Soccer Association Hall of Fame Awards, live from the DoubleTree Hilton in downtown Huntington. Tonight we honor the remarkable achievements and contributions of outstanding individuals that changed the landscape of soccer in West Virginia. Join us as we celebrate excellence, perseverance, and the indomitable spirit of our esteemed Hall of Fame inductees.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to recognize our WVSA End of the Year Award winners. When we announce your name, please come up and accept your award on stage from WVSA President Len Rogers. First, 2023 Competitive Coach of the Year Boys, Jay Rist, Legacy FC.
Real quick, just want to say thank you to WVSA for the award. Really, this award is a byproduct of my 2011 boys and their success over the last several seasons. 6, 7 of my OGs are in the back of the room tonight. They surprised me. I had no clue that they were coming. I love you guys. What's good, brothers? I love you guys, man. Thank you for everything. This is also yours as well, so thank you very much.
2023 Competitive Coach of the Year Girls, Andy Harrison, FC Alliance. Accepting on behalf of Andy is Sophia Smith and Adam Arthur.
So very proud to be here for Andy tonight. We're accepting on his behalf. He's doing what he should be doing. He's coaching soccer right now. He's in Cincinnati. He's got 2 girls teams there, 2013 girls, 2011 girls. Had a good competitive day today. Andy very much deserves this award. He's been fantastic over almost 10 years now with me. And he's really taken a liking to the girls' side of things. He's formed a following. He's just recently set up a soccer assist program where he's bringing back in girls, older girls, back in to teach the younger girls. It's going really well. He's got free soccer camps set up. He's got mentorship stuff happening. So he's more than deserving of this award. And Sophie wants to say a few things about him. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sophia. Thank you all for being here. Andy told me to tell you that he is currently coaching in Cincinnati, but I have some things to say about him. Soccer and Andy are more than just soccer and Andy. They are a part of me and my family, and Andy wants us to exceed, to excel, to do good so we can be great, to be awesome so we can be amazing. Me and the girls respect him. He is our leader, and we will forever respect him. And Andy, I want to say I feel so lucky to be on your team and to have all the opportunities I have had. Andy is a nice and funny coach, but he has high expectations that I hope I fulfill. Andy, I want to say thank you. Thank you for everything.
2023 Administrator of the Year, Susan McIntyre, Shawnee Soccer Recreational Academy.
I started this journey in 1999. Yeah. My daughter was 5, and we put her in soccer. So I was a team mom. That was my first administrator role. We all know how hard that is. Team mom, yeah. And then about 3 years later, miraculously, I became the registrar for CLMPSA, and that lasted for several years. And then in 2006, me and my husband, Lloyd, who's my life partner, couldn't do anything without him, we started the first online registration. And everybody said, nobody will do that. Nobody will do that. You got to do your paper forms. You got to go out into the community. Guess what? 2 years later, there was no more going out and signing up and taking paper forms. It was all online. So we were the wave of the future, and now we're all online now, right? Everybody. So I did that job for many years, and then I followed in Jude Greene's footsteps and became the KVSL registrar. And I was there for around, I think, 13 years until I finally stepped down and we decided to form our own club and do our own thing. And so that's where I am. And I've been with FC Alliance for 7 years now, running that program, taking care of all of our kids. Yeah. So I love it. It's in my blood. We call ourselves lifers because our kids, they're 28 and 29, they're gone. But we're lifers. We're here for the kids, all the kids.
"2023 Volunteer of the Year, Glenn Castro, WVFC.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I guess everybody else is, so I'll say something. This Volunteer of the Year award, I know there's a lot of us out here that are volunteers and do this just for the kids and the growth of our sport and our state. So there's a lot of people that be up here besides me, but I definitely appreciate it. But I'd be remiss to say if I wasn't behind good leadership from WVFC and WVSA, I probably wouldn't be up here. But I just wanted to say thank you to you all. If you live your life in service to others, you'll be happy and so will everybody else. So thank you.
2023 Young Female Referee of the Year, Elise Mole.
Well, I also wasn't going to say anything, but like he said, everyone else is. So I'd just like to take this time to thank all the mentors and national coaches that have helped me to get to where I am right now. I've gone to regionals 3 times, so that was awesome. And yeah, I have a lot of fun refereeing, and I'm glad to be growing throughout this career and hope to get far in it and just see where I go. So thank you.
And now it's time to recognize the WVSA, USU Soccer East Region, and USU Soccer National Award winners. First, 2023 Young Male Referee of the Year, John Allen.
Thank you all. So I began refereeing when I was 12, and I just wanted to thank Mike for everything he's done for me. He taught my initial referee clinic, and he's been there for me every single day since then. So I really appreciate that. Thank you to all of the other referee coaches, mentors, colleagues, and everybody that makes it possible. Thank you.
2023 Grassroots Coach of the Year Girls, Lloyd McIntyre, Shawnee Soccer Recreational Academy.
All right, I won't give the same speech I gave in California, but when I won this, so Dave called me and said, "You've won the state award." Then I got a call, said you won the regionals, and then I got another call, said you won the nationals. The first thing I thought of is like, I want to have my girls come back. So I'm going to ask them to stand up. These are my, excuse me. Sorry, Emmy, I said I wouldn't cry. These are my legacy girls. So this is 4 of the 7 starters of our 2004 U10 Girls KVSL champions right here. the whole back line, goalkeeper, 2 defenders, and a winger. They were fantastic. They've always been great. What I'm most proud of is they've all become great adults. So they didn't need to be yelled at. They didn't need to be told to run faster or play harder, which was always my philosophy. They became a speech therapist, an accountant, a teacher, a federal bank examiner. So I'm proud of them for that. And I also got to coach my son, who's a computer engineer, and all the boys on his team. Even though we sometimes butted heads, they also won an Open Cup. Even though I banned them for 2 weeks, we had no practice, and then they managed to do this. But they've also become pharmacists and engineers, and that's what all this is about, is just making sure that these kids grow up to be successful adults. And we've had the honor of having this academy for the last 4 years now. I've got 2 other girls, Sophia, Zoe, stand up. They were 2 of my original girls. And I have a whole nother group. There's some babies, and I have soccer moms who are now soccer grandmoms. So we have a whole nother group that is planning to join here in 2 or 3 years. But thank you all so much. I really appreciate this honor. It was great to see everybody. Thank you.
And finally, 2023 USU Soccer National Grassroots Coach of the Year Boys, Nate Tessman, South Hill Soccer Association. And accepting on behalf of the family is Jake Cipoletti.
Coach Nate wished he would be here tonight, but I am happy. I am happy and to accept this award on his behalf.
Why is Coach Nate Coach of the Year?
Because he always stays positive. He's nice and he never gets mad at you whenever you make a mistake.
Time for the Boys Recreation Coach of the Year. Now, this individual's nomination stands out in that it often references parents, and not just the hundreds of players who want to play for this standout leader. It mentions repeatedly his ability to communicate regularly and openly with players and parents. It also alludes to his calmness, sportsmanship, and extreme focus on getting the details correct while keeping the sport fun. In today's youth sports world, where coaches and parents don't often see eye to eye, Coach Nate is refreshing in that he seems universally loved given his patience and even-keeled leadership. He is from West Virginia's South Hill Soccer Association. The Boys Recreation Coach of the Year, Nate Tessman.
Thank you. This means a lot. I'm very, very honored to receive this award this evening. I appreciate the support from United States Youth Soccer, the support from the West Virginia Soccer Association, and also the tremendous support from my local club, the South Hill Soccer Association. I'd like to give special thanks to my inspiration for coaching, my 2 sons who are both here tonight, Tyler and Cole. Cole is the crazy one that was running around here earlier. And also a special thanks to my wife and all of the spouses that put up with us soccer coaches. That's a job in itself. So appreciate this. This means a lot. I'm very honored to receive this. And thank you all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome WVSA President Len Rogers.
Not bad. Who we doing? Our next award goes to a very, very special person in West Virginia Soccer's referee program. He and I are good friends. He's done a tremendous job bringing us to the forefront of the region and nationally. Our referees now some of them are national referees. We've had more and more and more referees accomplish more and more because of Mike McCarthy. I can't thank him enough for all he's done. He's now retiring, but we gave him a emeritus position today, so he's in for life now. But he has done a tremendous job for us. Everything is online. It's just so much easier to be a referee today. And if all the parents who help coach the referees while they're on the field would quit yelling at them, we would have a higher percentage of new referees each year. We lose 70% of our new referees every year. Think about that. When you're yelling at a referee, think about that. 70% of the new referees will stop refereeing after 1 year. That's not good. We've got to do better, parents. It's the parents and the coaches that yell at referees. They're like players. They're learning, and if they don't have the challenge of the big game, I've heard, I don't know how many times I've heard in my 24 years, why do you put a young referee on a championship game? Well, how are they ever going to know how to do it if we don't put them on a game? We've got to put them on a game. The old guys are getting old and they're retiring. You need those young referees. And I can't say enough about that, but think about it before you yell at a referee again, please. But Mike, if you'll come up, we've got some special stuff for you too. I need John Allen and Tim Eller up here and Bree. Where's the loose one? Oh, you already got one. You cheated. Damn, you spoiled it. Oh, thanks. All right, act surprised. I was. All right. We have coins that have mics. We gave him flipping coins, which we thought was pretty appropriate, and they have his picture on the front of it with WVSA on the back. So it gives his years of service, which was 10 years of service for us. And then we've got one other special award here for him. It's kind of fitting. Push down on it to get it to open.
He's not a mechanic.
He's a referee.
If I can't reboot it, I can't fix it.
Oh, there we go.
Notice the wines.
Oh, yeah, the Bataille, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you retire as an SRA, you can take up wine as a hobby, which I have embraced. Wine stopper?
Something special. He's done a tremendous job for us for 10 years, and I can't thank him enough for all he's done and where he's brought our program to and where we're going from here. He's set it up to continue forward to do more and more. So thank you, Mike.
Thanks. Nothing is more rewarding than to plant a tree knowing that generations in the future will enjoy the shade. And it's through the hard work of people like John and Elise and Tim and so many of the other young referees that have really made our program look good and stand out. I will note, I'm very appreciative of the coin. The joke of which side is heads and which side is tails kind of writes itself at this point. But very thoughtful. Thank you all very much.
Well done. The box is there for you. You want to take it.
Well, each year, U.S. Youth Soccer chooses a male and female young referee of the year. And through this program, U.S. Youth Soccer helps foster the development of referees for the future of the game. The young referees of the year are chosen from a group of 4 female and 4 male regional winners. And we are really excited to begin by recognizing the young male referee. This individual was first certified at the age of 12 back in 2017, and he has not slowed down one bit since, even during the pandemic, often traveling 3 hours to officiate matches. His colleagues say he shows up for every game smiling and prepared, which, as we know, is a perfect combo for a referee. Recently, he started building a video library to help mentors and coaches with video analysis. And I'm not sure how he does it, given that he's also a freshman at Carnegie Mellon University studying chemical engineering. Yeah, all after cruising through high school with a perfect 4.0 GPA while serving as president of his 4-H club, team captain for robotics, and helping as a peer tutor. So please welcome the 2023 Young Male Referee of the Year, West Virginia's very own John Allen.
First of all, I'm extremely honored to be selected for this award, but it wouldn't have been possible without all of the referee administrators and everybody that helped me along the way. So thank you to Lee Suckle and the East Region Referee Committee, Doug Sharp and the West Virginia State Referee Committee, and all of the wonderful referee coaches, mentors, and colleagues I worked with along the way. And huge thank you to Mike McCarthy, the former West Virginia State Referee Administrator who retired a couple weeks ago, for all of his support along the way for not only myself, but all of the referees in West Virginia and the East Region. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage WVSA Executive Director Dave Larraba.
Good evening. I know the over-under on me getting through this, but we're going to give it a shot. Not a surprise to anybody that today we are having a retirement of our 24-year state president, Len Rogers, 31 years on the board of directors. He is not going away because he's going to be immediate past president, but we want to recognize 24 years of fantastic service. First up, I'd like to bring up the East Region representative to the USYS Board of Directors, Jim Kuntz.
Good evening, everybody. This is always a pleasure to come to one of these events. Everybody is here for the reason that we all get involved in this game, and that is to honor each other, pats on the back, and the kudos for all the volunteers. Len and I go back probably the 20, 25 years. One of the first meetings I had with him was back in 2011 or 12, the first year that you hosted, 2009. When you put the new fields in down at Barbersville, they were in for maybe 6 months of grass growing. We had the first day of play, and then that deluge, and you all remember that. What a debacle that was. But one of the neat things about it was Len made a phone call, and the Black Hawk helicopters were out on the fields trying to dry them out. Now, that says something for the man. He's innovative. We will miss him dearly. He's always been a confidant of mine. Haven't had an awful lot to do with regards to issues, but he was always there as a sounding board when we needed him. So I'll tell you what, congratulations, Len. Don't go too far. We might be able to use you in the future for something else. So, all right, thanks again.
Okay, thank you, Jim. I want to read a letter from the village of Barbersville. Lynn, and this is going to be tough, Marcus. There's not much light up here to read. It's with great honor that I write today about a coach, a community leader, and a friend. Lynn Rogers is someone who is dedicated to his career, family, and community. He spent a lifetime with Mutual Wholesalers after attending Barbersville High School and Marshall University. Lynn also spent countless hours being a volunteer, doing work for his community. He was actively involved in the Rotary Club and the Nicaraguan Education Shelter and Health Fund, as well as the Fifth Avenue Baptist Church. However, the reason we are here is to talk about his community service with young people through a sport that he is so passionate about. Youth soccer in our area and across the state of West Virginia owes Rogers a debt of gratitude. Without his hard work and dedication to the youth in our area, the sport of soccer, countless tournaments, including the U.S. Youth Soccer Regional Tournaments, would have never taken place in our town. Having been a part of the City Council in Barbersville when those tournaments came to the forefront, I'll admit I was a very exciting time. After being elected mayor, I got to know Lynn better as a person, as well as someone who has the ability to squeeze money and funding out of just about anyone and a rock. Yes, true, he has a gift of getting someone to say yes to what may seem like a big request, but at the end of the day, the payoff for those young athletes and the communities in our area was larger than we could ever have imagined. His impact on our area youth and West Virginia soccer will be felt for many years to come. Lynn, congratulations on 24 years as president of West Virginia Soccer Association and for a fantastic soccer career and life that is testimony to others. Thank you for your friendship and for your dedication to our state and the communities within its borders. I'm better for have known you and wish you a fantastic retirement. Sincerely, Chris Tatum, Barbersville Mayor. Lynn? And now I would like to have Lloyd McIntyre come up.
This is from Katie Arthur on behalf of the Kanawha County Commission. Whereas Lynn Rogers has been a pillar in the soccer communities of Cabell and Kanawha counties for several decades, and whereas he has served as president of the West Virginia Soccer Association for the last 24 years, he helped develop, enhance, and grow programs in the organization over the years, and whereas his passion for soccer dates back to the 1980s when he coached in the Huntington YMCA soccer program, In the 1990s and 2000s, he coached for the Soccer Shop Rowdies and the West Virginia Rowdies while serving as president of those soccer clubs. And whereas in 2008, Lynn was instrumental in working with Barboursville Mayor Turman, West Virginia State Senator Bob Plymel, and then Governor Joe Manchin in developing the Barboursville Soccer Complex, spearheading the first WVSA bid to host a USYS regional event. And whereas Lynn has continued to work with Barboursville, Cabell County, and Kanawha County to promote soccer in the Mountain State and to continue to bring USYS events to West Virginia, the addition and continued development of Shawnee Sports Complex has enabled WVSA to bring larger events to West Virginia. And whereas he has also served as a referee for many years with WVSSAC and NISOA, in 2015, he presented at the first West Virginia Soccer Association Hall of Fame Awards. 2 years later, in 2017, Lynn was inducted into the WVSA and USYS Region 1 Hall of Fame. Lynn has also been a strong voice in the USYS East Region and for the support and recognition of smaller soccer population states. And therefore, be it resolved that the Kanawha County Commission hereby celebrates Lynn Rogers on an excellent life and career. He has served as president of the Nicaragua Education Shelter and Health Fund for nearly 20 years, providing homes, education, and healthcare needs for Nicaraguan families in need. We congratulate him on his retirement and wish him well. Presented by the Kanawha County Commission, dated this 8th day of March, 2024, Lance Wheeler, Ben Salango, and W. Kent Carper. You're welcome.
Now I'd like to bring up West Virginia Hall of Famer and a good longtime friend of Lynn, Sam Hood.
You know, we could do a transcript of this and it'd be a biography, wouldn't it? I go back with Lynn before he was president of the WVSA. He was the registrar.
Yes.
And my nickname for him still is Rosters. It's Lynn Rosters, not Lynn Rogers. So anyway, and I got to say this too. How many times I went into his office needing a roster, and I'd have to sneak by his dad's office. And I'd sneak by and I'd say, Mr. Rogers, I'm buying something. I've got an order. So anyway, Lynn's a dear friend. And in his spare time, in addition to what you all have heard, he was beside me literally at my shoulder for 4 years at St. Joe High School while Joe was playing. And also assisted me greatly, along with some other people, in saving the Marshall University men's varsity soccer program from being dropped in 2003. So anyway, go back a long way. This is another testimony for Lynn. On behalf of the citizens of the Mountain State and as your United States Senator, it is my distinct honor to congratulate Lynn Rogers upon his retirement as president of the WVSA. West Virginians have an exceptional can-do spirit. Throughout his career, Lynn has been a model example of this spirit, proudly leading the WVSA community to new heights, creating lasting local community partnerships, and initiating true change for the youth of America. He has succeeded in being an exceptional leader for his colleagues, peers, and players, and a great inspiration to countless others. As president of the WVSA for 24 years, he continuously fostered empowerment for the youth and people of West Virginia and all members across the country. West Virginia can attribute numerous improvements to the soccer community to his work in Cabell and Kanawha counties to develop area facilities, as well as serving as an advocate for the U.S. Youth Soccer East Region has been essential in developing and maintaining the longevity of soccer as an organized sport in our state. Good coaches win games, but great coaches have a positive, lasting impact on your life. I cannot imagine how many of his former players fondly remember the lessons they learned from him and still look up to him to this day. Truly, Len's dedication and perseverance are something we should all strive to emulate in our daily lives. There is no greater achievement than to be in the position to give back to the community your love. While he is retiring and everyone is sure to miss his strong leadership, Len's remarkable career will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact for generations to come. I am honored to wish Len and his family good health and much happiness in the days and years ahead. With the warmest regards, Joe Manchin, United States Senator. And this is an American flag that flew over the United States Capitol.
Thank you, Sam. I was thinking that Senator Manchin might send a Black Hawk helicopter, but didn't happen. I'd like now to have West Virginia Soccer Association Executive Vice President, and as of today, President-elect Randall Coleman come up with a presentation on behalf of the Board of Directors.
A few years ago, I had the opportunity to be approached to think about succeeding Len Rogers, and like most of us, after a few months, that quickly turned in to trying to follow him and continuing what he had done, to just trying to do what half of he's tried to that he has accomplished over the years. It would be difficult to put into words what has already not been spoken. Len has brought 17 regional championships to the Valley. What wasn't said is that we brought those to the Valley when no one thought he could, but those have now become the standard, and that's because of you. All of the people in this room, all the award winners, past and present and future, are going to accomplish what they have because of what you have laid and the foundation that you have helped contribute to. And I hope that you take tonight and the nights that follow and have preceded this and really cherish the moment and the contributions that you've gave to soccer. We really appreciate your time and forever grateful for you.
Thank you. And I just want to say that as a friend, mentor, boss, sometimes he beats me over the head. We've had a great run, and I'm going to miss working for him and working with him. And I don't know that any executive director in any sport in this country has had the luxury of having a president like Len Rogers. I appreciate it. I wish you well. Thank you for everything, buddy.
Wow. How do you follow that? Anyway. Thank you. Thank you to all of you that are here. Thank you to all the members of our association. You guys have made memories for me. That I'll carry with me forever. Dave and I have built a relationship that's been special, as he said. we could look at each other and know what they were thinking before they said what it was that we needed to decide. We knew how to head off problems before they ever became the problem. We could see them. We knew we needed to do something, and we had it done before it was going to be a major thing. Other states in the region, they struggle with that, being able to deal with the problem, whatever it is, quickly. Sometimes Eastern New York, I've talked to them, they need to change their bylaws. They've got some strict ones, and they make you hop through the hoops. We did away with the hoops and made soccer easier to work with. It's been phenomenal. The regionals have been wonderful. The Black Hawk helicopter was very, very special. Senator Palmer and I calling the governor that morning, that was just a hunch that it might work, and it did. Senator Manchin was super. We went to his office and asked, we needed to get a bridge built over the tracks so that the two sides were connected without having to drive over the tracks, across. There was a crossing, but it was a dangerous crossing, and we needed that two-lane bridge over top the tracks. And Senator Manchin got that done with Mayor Turnman, the fastest CSX has ever built a bridge anywhere, and this was the new height that they had to be for the double-decker trains to go under. They got it done in record time before the first tournament. I can't think it was Governor Manchin at the time, but Senator Manchin now. That kind of relationship, it just comes, and you have to build on it. And he's been there every time I've needed something. He's been there to help us, one way or another. He would say a word to someone, and things could come together. Barboursville building those fields with Mayor Turnman. We won the bid to host the 2009 regionals, and it was a pretty good bid we put in. We didn't have any fields. We didn't have 12 fields on that one side. We had dirt, and some grass, and it was unlevel, and so we had to build the complex after we won the bid. And Mayor Turnman was right there with me and said, "Well, make it happen," and they did. It's been phenomenal. And now Mayor Tatum has come to where we've put in 3 turf fields there, looking for 3 more. He's telling me they're coming. I'm praying that they get here by 25. Working with those people it's good. They're politicians, but they've come through for me. Sometimes a little later than I thought they would, but they've always come through for me. So that's been special. But back when I started in soccer in '86, I went to the first practice with my son, and all the moms were there with their kids, and I was the only dad that showed up that day. And they said, "We need a coach for this team," and the administrator of the Cabell County Youth Soccer looked at me and all the mothers, and they said, "You're going to be it." And I was like, "I don't know anything about the game. I can't coach the game." And sure enough, I was the coach, and that's where it started, and it built, and it got more. And I thought, I need to be better with the laws of the game. So I became a referee, and then I started refereeing tournaments, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And pretty soon, they needed a registrar, and I was pretty good at doing rosters. And so I became the state registrar for a short period of time. And then I became the executive vice president, and after that became president, and been doing it for 31 years. And I can't tell you how many memories that just, as I think about things, that just come and go. And I'm not gonna bore you with my whole history, but it has been very, very special, and it was all because of West Virginia Soccer members and staff. My staff is second to none. Christy and Amanda and everyone in the office, they do such a tremendous job for us. Mike with the referees. It just keeps on going, and our ODP teams are better than they were back years ago. We've made progress. We accomplish things in ODP now that we didn't used to be able to. We have referees making national teams. All that just doesn't happen overnight, but it has happened through my 24 years, and I am so proud to have been your president, and I'll still be in the background. I'll be past president for a while, and I'm going to continue to work with the regional tournament. So thank you all for the memories. Thank you for having me as your president, and it's been great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Go sit down. All right, next we're going to have our guest speaker, Skip Gilbert, is CEO of USU Soccer. With over 2.4 million registered players, USU Soccer is the largest youth soccer organization in the country, using the broad reach of its 54 state associations. We are one. Gilbert served in leadership roles with a number of Olympic organizations over the course of his career, including U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, the United States Tennis Association, USA Triathlon, USA Swimming, and U.S. Soccer. He was previously an elected chairman of both the National Governing Bodies Council and a co-founder of the current chair of the Association and chief executive of sport. Mr. Gilbert's passion for the sport extends beyond his professional experience, as Gilbert played soccer for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Sam, there you go. We had the West Virginia Rowdies of the Tampa Bay Rowdies of the NASL and the U.S. Olympic Development Team, and trained with Sheffield United and other clubs in Holland and Hong Kong. He is a licensed soccer coach, a member of the University of Vermont and Lawrenceville School of Athletic Hall of Fame. Gilbert and his wife, Jennifer, have 3 children and live in Lakewood, Virginia, Texas. Village, Texas, sorry about that. Skip, come on up.
Good evening. It's an absolute honor and a privilege to be here tonight. On behalf of U.S. Youth Soccer, let me just start with a couple of thank yous. First, to all of the award winners and the Hall of Fame nominees, thank you. You are an inspiration to the next generation of individuals that want to embrace soccer as strongly as you have. So when you leave here, don't think that all of the awards that was given out tonight put you at the top of your career, because you still have lots to give back to the game. There's still lots to learn and things that you can pass on, again, to the next generation of players, coaches, referees, administrators, volunteers, and staff. So please give yourself a round of applause again. Job well done. You know, as we look at trends in society, we look at certain things, like from an employee standpoint, how employees are spending less and less time at their jobs and moving to other roles, or the general decline of volunteerism in the United States. And so it's incredible when you have someone like Len, who has spent 24 years as your president, 31 years on the board itself. So again, on behalf of USYS Len, we can't thank you enough for the impact you've had in West Virginia and the impact that you've had on the game. Thank you. I'm going to talk about referees in a couple of minutes, but when someone like Mike McCarthy leaves and retires, it sends a reverberating message around the country because referees are a vital component of our game. And someone like Mike who retires from the sport leaves a hole that we have to fill quickly and we have to fill with the highest quality. So again, Mike, thank you for all of your service to the game and to West Virginia. And my last thank you, and this I'm going to show my age here. Years ago, there was a financial firm called E.F. Hutton, and they ran a spot with a bunch of people on an airplane. And a woman was leaning over the aisle and talking to the person next to her, and she said, "My broker is from E.F. Hutton." And then the entire crowd of passengers leaned in to listen to exactly what that person would say. That person is Dave Larraba. And so again, Dave, thank you for all that you are doing, you will continue to do, and the inspiration that you provide your colleagues around the country to be able to lead a state in the direction it's going. So thank you, Dave, for the invitation. So as I look around the room, I see players, I see referees, administrators, coaches. I see what is at the top of West Virginia. You have 16,000 players that play the game. Many of them will use you as their inspiration, their aspiration to follow in your footsteps to do great things in the sport. But for most of them, they don't really aspire to be professionals. They don't aspire to be on the national team, play college. Maybe some don't even play for the high school. That's the group, that is the category that is so vitally important to USYS. Because if you think about it, if all of you were players and the season just ended, the data shows that that half of the room won't come back next year. We lose that many players around the country each year, not because they're not necessarily good enough to make the national team, they don't think that they're good enough to keep playing. And that's something that we have to change. And so that is one of the biggest components of USYS moving forward, is to be able to create some of those educational platforms to help everybody feel like they're part of a community. When I started almost 5 years ago, I rewrote the vision of USYS to bring communities together through the power of soccer, making lifelong fans of the game. There's nothing in there about performance. It's to bring everybody together because the value that the game gives us. But it is also so that when people become my age, they're still connected to our sport. They're going to games. They might be a referee. They might be a coach. Their kids are playing in their game, or their grandkids are playing. But those are the messages that we have to put out throughout the country to be able to ensure that tomorrow's player are getting ready to play today. And so as USYS moves forward, there's 3 areas that I'm just going to leave you with as to what you might be able to do moving forward. First, there can't be any higher priority than referees. And one of the things that we're trying to do is to show more support for referees than the organization has ever done before. Because if you think about it, how many games do you play during your season when you get into State Cup, national championships? How many do you play without a referee? Doesn't happen. If the referee is particularly having a bad day, chances are the game may not be as memorable in the positive light as it should be. But when you have a great referee who not only instructs the players as to how to play better, because I know a lot of referees that will talk to players during the game to give them some insights as to how they can be better, but they officiate with the command that they generate the respect, and that makes players better. And for all the years that I played, not once did I ever get a yellow card or a red card. And it's because early on, I was taught to respect the referee. And that's the message that we absolutely have to drive forward as we recruit and retain referees. You heard it here tonight. Referees, after 1 year, many of them leave. It's not just in soccer, it's in sport in general. But the referee family is a vital part of the game. And at some point, and you all, given your stature within our sport, have to teach those messages that we have to treat the referee as strongly as we treat the players. Because if you think about it, when do referees practice? They never do. A referee's practice is a game. That's where they practice. And when they come off the field to play, they don't have a coach that's there to say, oh, first half, your body language was not doing. They don't have that. They have parents and coaches yelling and screaming at them. So the ability to be able to develop is somewhat stymied because of the culture that we bring onto the sidelines. So referees are one. Second component is alternative pathways. I said it earlier today at the AGM. If you think about soccer in this country, we are one of the only sports that does not have an officially sanctioned national pathway that's alternative to the typical 11v11. Let's go out and play every weekend and 2 or 3 practices a week. And look at all of the other examples in our country. Football was having problems with concussions. Flag football is here. Flag football is now an Olympic sport, and flag football, the CEO has told me, they're coming after girls soccer players and volleyball players because that's where they see their market. Basketball was starting to lose participation. They started 3v3. It is now an Olympic sport. Hockey is starting to see it. They're turning more towards street hockey. So all of the sports around us seem to have something that's different. And we have small-sided games, 3v3, 4v4, whatever it might be, but it's not an officially sanctioned process. Because if we think about it, kids today, thanks to technology, they want things their way, when they want it, where they want it, with whom they want it, and how they want it. We don't give soccer how they want it, it's how we want them to play it. And so we have to be more adaptable to allow a pathway for kids to be able to play that may not want to conform to what 11v11 brings. But they will still be connected to the game, and they will become lifelong fans of the game. And then the last part of the educational process, and to full due respect to all the coaches in the room, because your level is not what I'm talking about. There's a section of our coaches down below that need a better educational format. I can't tell you how many coaches I've seen and spoken with on the sidelines that walk up and down ranting at every play possible. Every time the referee goes to blow the whistle, screams bloody murder at them. And when the players come off the field, aren't constructive in a positive manner, but lets loose on that player. And then when you talk to the coach and you wonder, why do you think players are leaving? Why do you think referees are leaving? And why do you think your parents are screaming on the sideline? They have no clue. They're like, well, it's not my fault. And that's the mentality that we have to change. And so from that standpoint, as USYS moves forward, we see with the international games that are coming to this country, there is a huge opportunity for a legacy. And again, it's not so much, are we going to get every 6-year-old to play the game? The legacy has to be that we get 10, 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds, and 16-year-olds to stay with the game. And that can't come from us at the national office. It has to come from the leaders of the sport in every state association. So that means it's coming from you all. How can we do that? And we can't do it alone. And so the last thing I will talk about is the vital nature of our state associations. And kudos to Dave Larraba for what he does in West Virginia, but there are 53 other state associations that are under our umbrella. And some of the things that we're doing moving forward is to increase our staff, not to do national things, but to be at the, if you will, direction of the state associations. For many of the business disciplines that small staffs can't get to, but we can be able to do that and help them so that their staff, their resources can be more out on the field of play and impacting what the players do. So that is going to be coming as early as this summer. And then the last thing I will mention, is this year is our 50th anniversary. And if you think about the last 50 years, the sport of soccer has seen incredible change, incredible growth. I always say to our staff, look at everything we do as if we were building USYS and we were building the sport for tomorrow's players today. What would it look like? And so as we look to the next 50 years, what other things do we need to look at to potentially make better? And the last thing I will mention is our national championships. If you look at our national championships, as it is the icon of what USYS brings. But all of the data that we're seeing on the past 13 years, for example, all of that data is saying the quality is not necessarily where it should be compared to what else is out there in the marketplace. And so that has to change to bring that vitality back, and it comes to competitive balance. And I'll just use this as one example. We looked at all of the competition, all of the games in the last 3 years at group play at our regional championships in all 4 regions. 23.2% of all games finished with a score greater than 4-0. From a competitive balance standpoint, that's not right. As a parent myself and a parent of athletes, I don't want to spend thousands of dollars for my kids to go to a competition somewhere outside my local city to get crushed. At the same token, I don't want to spend thousands of dollars to go somewhere where my kids are going to crush someone else. That's not the learning experience. That's not the environment that we want the best players in the country to be under. And so we have pulled together, and we're going to be pulling together a task force to look at the national championships. So as we enter our 51st year, there's going to be a new look to what we do. And it will be able to give every player in every state of this country the ability to aspire to get to where they want to go, to be national champions within a competitive environment that is appropriate for their level of play. If we can do that, then as the World Cup comes, as the LA Olympics come, the legacy that we will leave behind will ensure that soccer becomes the preeminent sport in this country. And again, it doesn't come from us, but it comes from all of you who clearly have put that flag in the sand that soccer means something to you, it means something to your family, means something to your friends, and it's something that you absolutely care about. So again, on behalf of US Youth Soccer, thank you all for what you do. Congratulations tonight, and may the best in the future. Thank you.
gentlemen, it's now time for our Hall of Fame award ceremony. Please welcome to the stage Sean Greene, Dustin Greene, and Holden Greene.
All right, hi everyone. Really excited to be here. I'm Sean Greene. I'm Jude Greene's son. It's an amazing honor to welcome my mom into the West Virginia Soccer Hall of Fame. It's truly the first Hall of Famer that I've ever known, so pretty amazing honor. For most of my life, I've seen my mom work with youth soccer organizations. She's dedicated countless hours to make sure kids from all over the state had a chance to play soccer. And that really means a lot in West Virginia, and especially coming up in a time where not a lot of people knew, even what soccer was. And so, which is a huge difference. I've spent my life living all over the country since growing up here. And, a lot of people, when we lived in California, had lived with soccer their whole lives. But here it's kind of a novel idea to people when I was growing up, playing soccer. And my mom really enabled that and took it, to her heart that kids all over the state needed to have a chance to learn and play soccer. And it didn't matter if it was a kid in a rural part of the state trying to get a team together to play against other areas, or maybe the most elite teams from the larger metro areas. She spent the same amount of time and focus on each of those to enable them to enjoy the sport. I remember her days in our living room of doing pass cards by hand, of cutting out the little pictures, making sure, the players' names were either typed on them or written, so the referees could read them. Coaches calling her at all hours of the night and day, wanting to get their roster ready. And, there's probably a lot of nasty words said about my mom over different times, but she was always focused on the teams being eligible, the players being able to go out there and compete. And, for me in my life, it showed like this unwavering commitment to volunteerism. And, I see that in myself, something that she's given me, throughout my life. And I can't thank her enough for that. Is after I got done with school, I spent 2 years in the Peace Corps serving our country in Guatemala. And I don't think I would have ever done that if I hadn't seen my mom spend so much time dedicating part of her life to serving the community. And it's held with me all the way to today, from serving on different boards with community sports. And even now, our son doesn't play soccer, he's a big baseball player. But for our life, we've chosen a nonprofit baseball organization that's one of the elite in the Midwest. And that's really important to us, is, with all the different high dollar, professionalized youth sports, there's organizations out there where volunteerism still means a lot and can drive really successful athletes through that. And, I'm really thankful for my mom's service and what she's instilled in myself. And I'm proud to stand up here today and welcome not only my son and my brother to share a little bit about what Jude Greene has instilled in them as well.
My name is Holden. Judy, or Granny as I call her, has always been there for me. I know that she has taken the same care and devotion into account throughout her career with West Virginia soccer. My granny has inspired me to use that same devotion during all activities, such as school, baseball, and even volunteering in my community. I am so proud of my granny for becoming the first Hall of Famer in our family and for impacting over 100,000 people's lives. She has earned everyone's respect and still continues to inspire those around her.
And I'm Dustin Greene. I'm her other son. That's my brother, Sean. Yeah, just to echo everything they've said, I mean, especially her commitment to soccer. Soccer's been an integral part of my life ever since I can remember, still is to this day as a coach. But the whole commitment to help others in the service is a big part of our lives. And it still is for me as an educator, as a coach, and as a fan of the game. It's a beautiful sport, and thank you to everyone in this room. I know a lot of people have come up and have committed a lot to this game, and it's awesome to see it grow. As my brother said, it was a very novel idea, you know, especially in West Virginia. I don't feel like there's too many people playing the sport growing up, and to see where it is today and see everyone in this room and the commitment to the sport and the hours that you put into it, the volunteering, especially all the hours I saw my mom put into it, has continued to drive me to want to do the same thing for the game and in other aspects of life. So thank you for everything you've done. We love you a ton. And now let's find out more about our newest inductee.
Judith Greene was born in Charleston, West Virginia in 1952. She began her 35-year soccer career as a local club registrar, working to set up and run soccer camps and coaching clinics with camp administrators. Judith served as the local KVSL representative and eventually served on the KVSL Board of Directors as treasurer, registrar, and special projects coordinator. She served on the WVSA Cup Committee and worked in all aspects of Cup competitions. Judy dedicated many hours to allow those players with disabilities to play the game as the WVSA Top Soccer Chair from 1998 to 2023. She served as WVSA Director of Member Services for 17 years before retiring in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest member of the West Virginia Soccer Association Hall of Fame, Jude Greene, class of 2024.
I'm afraid I'll forget what I gotta say. I want you to know how humbled I feel having this honor bestowed upon me. And I think along the way, one of the things that I really enjoyed most in my career was as Director of Member Services, I got to work with every club in West Virginia soccer. And over the years, I've met so many wonderful people who, just like everyone, they're so dedicated to getting these players out on the field and making sure they're safe. The ones in the past and the ones still there. And I hope it keeps continuing in the future as I've watched soccer come so far in the past 35 years. I also want to thank my family for all their support over these years. Even when I had to spend time that took away from my family, none of them ever complained. They always supported me. And finally, I just want to thank you all for such a special recognition.
All right, well, a coach is defined as a tutor in the game of life. And the Recreation Coach of the Year is honored for his or her coaching activities, sportsmanship, player development, personal coaching development, and citizenship. Our Girls Recreation Coach of the Year makes me think back to the nursery rhyme, Old MacDonald had a farm. All right, so we're going to explain all that in just a moment. But for now, we're going to go ahead and play a clip of it for those who didn't have the good fortune of hearing this as a kid. So if you don't know it, here is Old MacDonald Had a Farm.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a sheep, E-I-E-I-O.
All right, we all know it? We know it, right? Come on, it's a classic. Okay, so as you heard, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. So to our knowledge, this incredible coach doesn't have a farm per se, but instead he has a barn full of awards, 23 years of experience, and his own E-I-E-I-O. And his stands for effort, initiative, enthusiasm, integrity, and oxygen. And it's all aimed at creating a positive environment at every level he coaches. And he has coached youth from age 4 through age 19. To boot, in 2020, he and his wife Susan founded an academy to encourage vulnerable, low-income, and minority children to play soccer. And it's paying off. His Shawnee Soccer Recreational Academy has grown to more than 150 players. The Girls Recreation Coach of the Year for 2023 from West Virginia, Lloyd McIntyre.
I did not remember writing all that, so it's a good thing my speech ties right into Old MacDonald Had a Farm. First of all, I've been doing this for 23 years. I would not be here without my wife, Susan. We met each other in 6th grade when we were 12 years old, became best friends somehow between a nerd and a majorette. We've been married for over 30 years, and we've been working in soccer for 23 years now. So it's been a great journey, but we both love it and we both care about it. When we signed our daughter up many years ago, we saw a hand-painted sign on the side of the road. It said soccer signups today. And we thought, wow, that'll be cool. We know nothing about soccer. Let's put her in that. I accidentally checked the box that said I would be an assistant coach. And as you all know, that evening I got a call and said, congratulations, you're now the head coach of this 6-year-old team. It's a funny story, although I literally heard that story twice today. So 2 other people described that. So the next day I went out and I bought Soccer for Dummies because that's all I knew about it. But our kids really enjoyed it. The girls decided they no longer wanted to be the Rugrats, and they decided they would rebrand themselves as the All-Stars, and we created our first girls team. So I went out and bought the second book, which I was honored to meet Miss Fawcett tonight, because it was Tony DeSico's Catch Them Being Good. And that really inspired me and how I became a soccer coach for the next 20 years. And the reason we talk about effort, integrity, enthusiasm, initiative to my soccer players, to my coaches, to anybody I mentor, is because it's so important to have that philosophy and for them to understand it. But the most important piece that I really want to emphasize is oxygen. And that's the piece that I was missing for a long time. I figured out what is a good O word, and oxygen is the word, because you need a spark. Whether you're a player or a mentor or a coach or a referee, you need somebody to be there as a coach and a role model for you. Miss Fawcett, you were the spark for me. You didn't even know it at the time. But John Allen is our young referee from West Virginia. He needs a spark. Nate Tessman, he's a young coach. He needs a spark. And so that's been the thrill, of seeing the kids' faces, seeing when they connect the ball and they figure out what they're doing right, and gives them that spark. That's what drives me to continue doing it every day. So I'm extremely honored to be here. From Soccer for Dummies to being here at USYS has been an incredible journey. Thank you all so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage WVSA Hall of Fame member Sam Hood, class of 2016.
going to introduce an old friend, and I want to tell you how long I've known this guy. I have 4 grandchildren. My wife and I have been married 46 years, and I met this guy and started coaching soccer with him when my wife and I were dating. 1973, the Huntington YMCA decided that they were going to form a soccer league, and to the best of my knowledge, there was no organized soccer in the state. And we showed up, and there were several of us. I was 21 and had played in high school in Louisville. And we started the first youth soccer league, and I don't even think the WVSA existed at the time. And we had 3 age divisions, U16, U13, and U10. And there were 3 teams per division. So for the entire season, you'd play one team this week and the other one next week. Then it was the first, and it was 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And a few years into it, we decided that the 16-year-old kids didn't have anywhere to go. So a guy named Sam Bro, also a WVSA Hall of Fame member, said, let's get together at my house and let's start high school soccer. And I thought he was crazy. But sure enough, the next year there were 8 high school soccer teams in Huntington, or in the Huntington area. And all along the way was our next inductee. He was started the Huntington YMCA League, as I said. After a couple of years, he moved out to the eastern part of Cabell County and started the Cabell County Youth Soccer League. And after a few years, it was larger than the Huntington YMCA League. And then they decided they were going to build Cabell Midland High School, and they lost all their fields. So the Cabell County League merged with the Huntington League. So, and Tom was involved in the founding of both of those. And high school started the program at Huntington High, and the year that I started the St. Joe program. So our next inductee, let's learn a little bit more about him.
Thomas Proctor was born in Huntington, West Virginia in 1949. Tom was instrumental in the formation of the Huntington YMCA Youth Soccer League in 1971. He founded the Cabell County Youth Soccer League and served as president from 1979 to 1989. Tom assisted new and inexperienced coaches at Huntington High School and Barbersville High School. He was a referee for 25 years at the youth, high school, and college level. Tom was also a soccer coach for over 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest member of the West Virginia Soccer Association Hall of Fame, Tom Proctor, class of 2024.
Wow. My mom came to me in the early 70s, and she said, Tom, they're looking for some soccer coaches down at the Y. They want to get something started. And I just got back from prep school about 2 years before that. We had soccer there, and this was in Tennessee. They found out I was at prep school, and they thought, well, they have a soccer team. He knows something about it. I said, I don't know anything. I've never coached a game. Played a game in my life. I watched a few games. Said, we need you. And that's pretty much the way I got started in it. But Sam was there on that first day, and Jack DeFazio, and several others, and we thought, we're not going to get very far with this unless we really work real hard, and we did. But the journey that we took from that day on, we had no idea what we were going to run into. But it was quite a journey, We did anything we could to get kids to play. We did anything we could to get adults to help out, and thank God they helped out. Oh, we had some wonderful volunteers. It was awesome. But there's several stories that we could go on and on with, but I don't think that we really have the time for that. I do want to tell you about one story. After we started the Cabell County Youth Soccer League, we had a young team from Pea Ridge, the Pea Ridge Rowdies. Really original name, right? We were invited. They had won the Governor's Cup that year. We're just a recreational league team. They won every game they played by at least 2 goals. We went to Binghamton, New York. They invited us to play in the Northeast Regionals. This is the first time we traveled anywhere. Might have been the first travel game that we had to a big tournament like that in the whole state. I don't really know for sure. Our first game was against Annandale, Virginia. And then just outside of D.C., a lot of kids from foreign countries played on that team. I was standing out in the field during warm-ups, and I looked up, and here comes the team walking along the field. There's single file walking on the end line. They all had their ball bags. They had their warm-ups. They had a banner. They had flags. It was amazing. And I looked at my team, and we had gym shorts, T-shirts, not much more than that, really. We did have numbers on them. I thought, oh, man. So we got over to the sideline before the game started, and I said, listen, guys, I've never told you this at all. As a matter of fact, I've never told any team that they're going to lose. But guess what? It's going to happen today. They said, oh, no, it'll never happen. So they thought that they could really beat it. Well, there was just absolutely no way. First half was 11-0. They came off the field crying. I said, look, I told you guys. Now, all you need to do is just pay attention to them. They are under 14 years old, just like you. And they have made up their mind that they wanted to play soccer, and that's what they wanted to concentrate on. They didn't play baseball and basketball, but they wanted to play the game. So go out there and watch what they do, because you're capable of doing the same thing. But I'm not going to ask you to win. I'm not going to ask you to lose. I want you to pay attention. Go out there and have fun this half. That is the name of the game. So they went out. The whole outlook was different. They came off the field. The score was 23-0. But we went over. They wanted to go over and talk to these guys. And we went over. We sat on the sidelines with them while the other game was going on for about an hour. And they had already been playing in Mexico. They played in Europe, and they went to Canada. They played a lot. They had the money, though. We didn't. Anyway, the whole point was that they went out and they wanted to pay attention to what they did. They came back, and I think they took it to heart, because half a dozen of those kids played college soccer. And I was really proud to see that happen later on. Excuse me. About six years later, we took a team to Boston, my son's under-12 team, and we played 3 games. We won 1 game that I know of. I can't remember for sure. but we were competitive in all three of those games. And we knew that, maybe we're here. Maybe we can just play with the big boys. I don't know, but what I'm trying to say is that the sport grew significantly within those 6 or 7 years, and there was a lot of improvement everywhere. I see the improvement in soccer all over the place right now. We went out today to see the new fields out in Barbersville, and I'm amazed. Okay, I think that this association is second to none. I think it is awesome. We got to be somewhere close to the top anyway. But I just want to tell you how proud I am of the West Virginia Youth Soccer Association. Okay? Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage WVSA Hall of Fame member Joe Pepe, class of 2022.
Okay, folks, welcome. I'm up here to talk about a guy that we got to know through soccer. And believe me, we met a lot of good people through soccer. My deceased wife and myself. And we joined West Virginia Soccer Association. We joined the Cup Committee in 1990. And Jane Larraba was head of the Cup Committee at that time. And then after a couple years, she says, I'm turning you loose to the next one, which was John Newton. John Newton took the reins, and since he was from Parkersburg area, he, and believe me, this is the first time, and I always seen this van pull up, and I always see the referees come out of there. She always were hauling kids, and so on. John McCrady and his family joined the Cup Committee there. And also, he did all the refereeing, and along with running, he ran from Wood County youth soccer down to Jackson County and West Central and hosted tournaments. And then later on, when John Newton moved up to different positions, then John McCrady took over. And we hung around there, and guess what? Yeah, Lynn? You did bring the Nationals right there, the regional. Well, Huntington, West Virginia, we're there working, the whole West Virginia crew, staff office, everybody. And it was fantastic. It was fantastic. I can't say much about this guy because he ended up running the Cups and Games Committee. And we hosted a lot of things together. There were sides that we took. But one story I have to say, we were down in Huntington, and we were at the Barbersville fields there, and there was an under-10 game going on, and both of these parents knew each other. Both coaches knew each other, and I didn't know. Well, naturally, they started yelling at the referees, they started yelling at the other team, and so on. So what we normally do is go over there and tell the coaches to go talk to your parents about laying off the referees and being quiet or so on. Well, that was a mistake because all the parents were all mixed in with each other, and the coaches were yelling, and they were yelling at the other team's parents and so on. They got upset. Well, in the meantime, I got on the radio and I called for John to come over there, and we finally got everything settled down. And believe me, it's an under 10 game. And he goes, "Well, go over and tell the coaches to go talk to the parents." I says, "No way, I'm going over there," because that's what started everything. And John says, okay, you come over there. But this guy's been involved in soccer for a long time, him and his family. But I still remember, though, the van. They always had a van, and wherever they went, the referees come out of it. They hauled to make sure there was plenty enough referees that came there. And now we became really great friends throughout the years. And now let's find out more about our newest inductee.
John McCrady was born in Parkersburg, West Virginia in 1956. John worked with the Parkersburg Soccer Club for over 20 years, including terms as president. He was also president of the West Central Soccer Association. During his time around the sport, he held many positions, including grassroots coach, grassroots and high school referee and assessor, as well as District 6 Commissioner. He was dedicated to working with youth referees to help them develop their skills to be able to work at state and regional events in West Virginia and Ohio. John began working with the WVSA Cup Committee in 1997 and would lead the committee in 2009 through 2015. He was also WVSA Vice President from 2007 through 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the newest member of the West Virginia Soccer Association Hall of Fame, John McCrady, Class of 2024.
Well, Joe got through his part. No, I don't. Well, thank you very much. You have to get nominated first, so Joe took care of that. There's a lot of thank yous. Anytime we did anything, Teresa was there. But the joke's already been around the table this evening when Jason looked at me and said, "You know, if it wasn't for him and our daughter Vanessa, I wouldn't be here." In our case, Jason brought the letter home from school saying they were having soccer sign-ups. But when we got involved in the Cup Committee, John and Jean Newton were running it at the time. We met Joe and Janice. And there's a lot of stories, I know. But yeah, we did bring a van to the tournaments, but it got to the point where the van was too small. So Teresa had to drive the station wagon with the girls in it, and I drove the van with the guys in it. The one picture that they showed of all the young referees in the gold shirts. Every one of those referees were West Virginia Youth Referee of the Year. So we had a good time with the referees. They went a lot of places, a lot of regional tournaments, premier tournaments up in Mansfield, Ohio. And that was probably the best part because nobody bothered us. They didn't dare. My wife may not have been born a natural redhead,
But the red hair on her head is a warning. We were doing, I don't even know what it was now, an open cup at one of the older fields in Huntington one year. We'd had some trouble with the coaches the day before, and they were ejected. Kevin and our son Jason and mother was on the game, and it was just a difficult game to get through. And when they did get through, though, the game was over. Referees gathered their gear and was heading back toward the referee tent. The coaches decided to bring their parents and follow them very closely. At which point, one of the coaches was begging Kevin to throw him out. So Kevin finally went, okay, because they were still in the area of the field. They still had control. At which point, mayhem ensued, and the three referees were just heading toward the admin tent. Jason kept saying, just keep going, just keep going. About that time at the admin tent, my wife saw a body of people coming toward us. Her two choices were walk around the end of the table and go out the thing, or go over the closest table and go toward them. As she got there, Jason told Kevin, just keep walking, just keep walking. When they hit Teresa, the three referees went past her and everybody else stopped. And it's what you have to do for referees. So yeah, our family's been involved for years. It's always been our family. So anything that I've done, it's always been all of us. And we still talk about the young youth referees that used to travel around with us everywhere. But thank you very much. I appreciate this immensely. On behalf of my family, I appreciate it. Joe? God, I wish Newton did. Thank you very much.
Our next honoree has spent more than 4 decades giving to soccer. He is one of 4 award winners tonight from the Mountain State. I'm sure you'll hear his usual chant when he gets up here, I hope. I'm not stealing his thunder. He's the executive director of West Virginia Soccer Association. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Larrabell.
I understand the staff has an over-under on my speech, but they had to cancel it because everybody took the over. I want to say sincere congratulations to Joy and Lauren. It's humbling for me, who didn't play the game, to be inducted with 2 giants of the world of women's soccer. And I will tell you, I feel like a pair of brown shoes with a tuxedo standing up here. I don't belong. I will end with the words, Dr. Pete, here it comes, taught to me by a man who has been probably my most important supporter and mentor for me and for WVSA. He played college soccer at Davidson Elkin College in West Virginia. A lot of you don't know that. And he married a girl from Charleston, West Virginia, the great Hank Steinberg. When we ended our conversation right before Christmas, he said, leave them with this: the northernmost of the southern states, the southernmost of the northern states, the easternmost of the western states, the westernmost of the eastern states, born a bastard of the Civil War, West by God, Virginia.
2024 West Virginia Soccer Association Hall of Fame Awards. We hope you had an enjoyable evening. WVSA invites you to join us for a post-awards reception just outside of the Grand Theater doors. All WVSA award winners and Hall of Fame inductees are asked to stay behind for photos.